You are first alphabetically as well.
How are y'all doing this afternoon? You know, Abraham Lincoln said, what? You can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. I've been elected 5 times as sheriff. So that means one thing. I haven't tried to fool you. Because if I had, I would not have been elected 5 times. Now, I believe in service to the community. I've volunteered with Humphreys County Progress for over 30 years, doing things, serving the public. Recently, Mr. Rice was part of our organization, Illinois Men of Standards, and I'm awfully proud that we are able this year to give over 20 scholarships to kids from Gentry and Thomas Edwards High School. We are working toward building the community because people will talk to you about what you can do for as enforcing stopping crime. Well, the best way to stop crime is a good education, providing a good social economic basis for your public. And that's what I believe in. I believe in good law enforcement. I believe in the police doing their job. I believe in just not arresting the person, but following through on what you do, because so many times you see an arrest, but you don't see the results afterwards. Good police work leads to less crime. And the only thing I'm saying is this is plain and simple. Be a servant of the people. Now, if 3 guys, I understand they want my job. I can understand that. This is a job that is a very powerful job. But what I want them to remember, too, is that it's a job of service to Sunflower County. You got to be a servant of Sunflower County. You got to be a counselor. You got to be ready to be wakened in the middle of the night by people with problems. You got to help. You got to help. Look, how many people in this audience I ever help? Raise your hand. Come on. Come on. Raise your hand. Come on. I'll help more than that. You don't want to raise it? All right? But, right. Because what they said, I will arrest you, but I will also, if it's deemable, that I will try to help you and put you on the right path. Now, good folk, you'll hear a lot of things today, but it's just one simple thing. Service to the community is what elected office is about. If you're not about that, well, you need to go home.
Make some noise for Sheriff Haywood. I understand District 4 Supervisor Anthony Clark has just arrived. Do y'all want to wait on him? Do you want to go forward? All right, go forward. Okay, next we have up is Brian Reed, a candidate for Sunflower County Sheriff. Give it up as he come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to give honor to God for allowing us to be here today on this beautiful day to stand here and bear witness to each and every person that's up here being a candidate for this upcoming election. Let me just start off with a little bit about myself. I am a lifelong resident as well of Sunflower County. Um, I was educated within the Sunflower County School District from elementary school all the way through high school. I attended a little college as well here locally in Sunflower County at MDCC. Um, I started my career in 1999 here in the city of Indianola as a policeman. Um, did 9 years here in Indianola and left here in 2008 from the police department. Went to work for the incumbent at the sheriff's department, Sunflower County. I was there from approximately 2008 up until I think this past October, which was 2022. That gave me a 14-year span of experience with working for Sunflower County as well as my experience with Indianola. Um, there's a lot that can be said as far as the title of sheriff for this county. Okay, first and foremost, as been said, this position does come with a lot of power. I'm not interested in power. I pride myself on making sure that when I'm put in the position to do a job, that I do the best job that I can possibly do for all people at all times. Financial doesn't matter. Race, religion, it doesn't matter. Because as I was told when I was in the police academy, as a police officer, you don't see colors. You are a servant of the people. And I feel that over my 20 plus years of career as a law enforcement officer, I've always tried to put that aspect first and foremost as a person, to make sure that everyone is treated right. Okay? Right now, we have a lot of issues going on between the general public, citizens, and the police department. I feel on that aspect, things can change if law enforcement kind of changes, or per se has the right type of leadership to talk to people, to get out in the community and deal with people on a regular basis, not just special events, special functions, but just talking to people from Walmart, Super Value, even Double Quick. I've always made it my first effort to try to talk to that person if that person was willing to talk to me. Okay? So come August the 3rd, I would ask for your vote. I would appreciate your vote. I would appreciate your consideration as well. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Bobby Walker right now is the last candidate that is here for running for Sunflower County Sheriff's Department. Give it up as he comes forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, the Bible says that there's a time and a season for all things. And it's time for a change in Sunflower County. Let me grab it is absolutely time for a change in Sunflower County. My name is Bobby Walker Sr., and I am a candidate for sheriff of Sunflower County. I have over 25 years in law enforcement. I am married to my beautiful wife over there, Miss Erica Walker. Y'all say hey to her. Let me tell you a little bit about my career. I was a supervisor / shift commander in at the Greenville Police Department for over 14 years. I've served as an undercover narcotics agent for North Central Narcotics Task Force. I have served as the chief of police in Moorhead, Mississippi, where we reduce crime over 85%. I am now currently the chief of police in the town of Sunflower. I am the right person at the right time for the right reason. As your sheriff, I will work to reduce crime in our communities by putting more deputies on the street, to patrol our communities, to be visible in order to prevent crimes from happening. Holding the people that are selling drugs and shooting guns and committing senseless acts of violence against the innocent and hold them accountable for doing these things. I will work with the youth by implementing youth programs through mentorship and internship. I will work closely with the superintendents of the public schools, the principals, to make sure our children are safe when they are attending school and at sporting events. I will work hard to make sure that families get justice when they are victimized by senseless acts of violence. There's an old saying that the old folks used to say, you know what you got, but you don't know what you're getting. So let me tell you what you got. Our communities are being riddled with shootings and the sound of gunfire every night. Let me explain something to you. Our sheriff department, when you feel like the police department ain't doing their job, the sheriff department is where you want to go and get results. You hear people say all the time, y'all ain't doing that, I'm going to the sheriff department. Well, let me tell you this. People have gone missing in Sunflower County. And the parents have had nervous breakdown. I'm telling you what I know because I've been out here campaigning. And the parents have had nervous breakdown because the sheriff department dropped the ball, have not made contact with her or anything. Farmhouses being broken into. And I know y'all said, well, don't bash nobody, but you got to call your opponent out on his weak points. And these are some of his weak points. Farmhouses are being broken into. Farm equipment that's being stolen that has not been returned. Calling for a deputy in the midst of extreme emergency. Now, I want you to know something. Sunflower County is the longest county in the state of Mississippi. You cannot patrol Sunflower County with 2 deputies. Calling for a deputy in the midst of extreme emergency. What if your life? So you don't know why, you don't know you're being victimized. You've been victimized. You don't feel it. See, when I was in Greenville, and I'm about through, when I was working in Greenville, I had to go give death notifications to people that have lost loved ones to gun violence. And I never knew how they felt until it happened to me, until my sister was murdered. And I had to see it for myself. My sister was murdered. And I said, why didn't somebody tell me, fool, you giving these folks death notifications without no remorse? But until my sister died and was killed by gun violence. See, it's time out to stop voting for people because we know them, their household name, they've gotten comfortable because they've been there so long. It is absolute time for a change in this county. Thank you.
Give candidate Walker another round of applause. We're going now to our local judges. We're going to start with the northern judges. And the first we have up is Ms. Lisa Bell. Come forward, Lisa. Next is going to be Lester Williams.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Judge Lisa Bell, and it is an honor to be here today. First, giving honor to God. Thank you for Mr. Ty Pinkins for allowing us this platform, to all the candidates out here, to all the citizens, and just a big thank you for allowing me to speak today. It's always an honor to speak, to let everybody know what I stand for, let you know who I am in case there's ever anything you would like to talk with me about, because I do agree on one thing. The job that you're asking for today is a service. We tend to think that they put us in certain positions, but they're servitude. Getting up in the middle of the night and signing warrants and making sure that the officers and everybody's protected when they come in. Let's say it's a domestic abuse case, making sure that they know how to find it, making sure that the family's safe, making sure there are no children involved. All those things are involved in my job, and I enjoy every moment of it because I feel like I can give back something to the community. Quickly, I'd like to let you know who I am and what I do. I have been a citizen of Sunflower County for 48 years. I have 4 sons who are grown. I have 1 granddaughter who's rolling around with my husband right now. And I'm a professor at a few universities. I also hold PhD. I'm a PhD candidate, soon to be doctorate, and I'm an entrepreneur. So you might say I'm a busy person, but first and foremost, I'm Judge Bell, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that you entrusted me with that these last 4 years, and I'm asking you for more time because I believe there's much more that I can give to you. As a judge, we do things by canons. I know you don't know what a canon is, but I'm going to name my favorite canons that we live by as judges. First is, a judge should uphold integrity, avoid biases, and not being swayed by criticism. what most people don't understand is that last one, not being swayed by criticism, is a big one, because there's always going to be someone who leads and they're not going to understand it. They might not be happy with my decision, but I can guarantee you that everything that I do and everything I have done has been for the people and has been for furthering justice in the community, because I care for my community. That's why I'm here fighting for my job. I'm thankful again that you would reconsider me for re-election to my position, Judge Lisa Bell. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Let's give Lester Williams a hand of applause as he comes.
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. It's a pleasure to be here. Protocol that's been established. My name is Lester Williams. I'm a candidate for the Northern District Judge. I'm a graduate of Mississippi Valley State. I'm a graduate of the Public Management Program at Parchman. And then I'm also a retired MGOC employee. And so one thing about I believe in enforcing the law for all, fairly for all people. And also I have plans to implement more programs that will benefit the public. And so on August 8th, I would like for you to consider me, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay, Mr. Williams. Okay, next we will have we going to Northern District Constable Jerome Shaw comes to the stage. Come to the stage, Jerome Shaw. Give him a hand as he comes.
Good evening, good evening. I know you're all here for a purpose. You are here for a purpose to evaluate the candidates. But my purpose is to be open about the goals, my vision, and my positive motives during this election. My name is Jerome Shaw, a candidate for Constable of the Northern District. I'm a longtime resident in the Alderman, Mississippi. I'm a husband and a father of 5. I was raised by parents who taught me the importance of service and the love of my community. I watched them give back and work in their community and help others in need, even when they had very little. This is where I gained a passion for service and volunteerism. I have a deep passion for working with children and families in my community. I've been dedicated for more than 13 years as a community volunteer in the Rural, Drew, and Sunflower area. I also dedicated my time with working in area nursing homes. Serving others have also given me a closer relationship with God. I ask that the northern citizens of Sunflower County give me the opportunity to serve God's people as your next constable for the Northern District. I will serve with dignity and integrity to all citizens with the utmost respect and with God's love. So August the 8th, I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Southern District Constable candidate, Mr. Will Jones. Give him a hand of applause as he comes to the stage.
Good afternoon, people. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Through him, all things are possible. He allowed me to be here to speak. I'm Will Jones. I'm campaigning for Constable Southern District. It's truly an honor to be amongst all you good people, candidates, spectators, to even be mentioned in the same breath. It's also a privilege to be in position possibly to become the new face, the new constable, and to follow in the footsteps of the best to ever do it. For years, I was that person who screamed change, who wanted a difference made, who went to the polls term after term, trusting that the candidates I selected would keep their word and fulfill their promises. But this term, I asked myself, since you're infatuated with change and want to make such a difference, then why not become involved? So that's when I decided to run for Constable Southern. My intentions are clear. If there's any bad history hovering over this position, then I want to clean it up. Any mishaps, misfortunes, loopholes, shortcuts being taken, failure to do's, I'm here to correct all. I'm young, I'm energetic, I'm committed to my community. I've been a captain at the Indianola Fire Department for the last 13 years, so I am a public servant. I'm a highly motivated, result-oriented individual. So to all my loyal supporters and my new supporters, allow me to be your next Constable Southern. Join me on this journey as we strive for change. Let's grow together for many terms to come. Vote Will Jones, your next Southern District Constable, 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Now we will have District 4 supervisors already. He's already in the seat, been in the seat 8 years after this year. And welcome, Anthony Clark. You got a lot of nerve to come, and then you came late. But anyway, welcome him here, and we'll give him a round of applause.
Well, all I can say, thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. The reason why I'm late, because we had a funeral to attend when I was a citizen of this District 4, and that's more than, it's a passion of mine. And if you ever get in a position that you can care for people, that's the main thing. It's not how much the job pays. It's not how eloquent you can speak. It's not how the clothes you wear. It's all start at the heart. Because the Bible said, if you love Jesus, you will love him with all your heart. Whatever you set your mind to do, it got to be from the heart. Because if you don't do it from the heart, it becomes just a paycheck to you. No matter what your position is, no matter how you get in life, to do the job efficiently, not that people can pat you on your back, so God can say, you doing well done for me. You got to do it from the heart. Even in this wheelchair, I still do it from the heart. My decision is from the heart. Because when I do it from the heart, God knows that it meant for the people and the citizens of Sunflower County. Even though I can't walk, but I'm walking in the spirit. I'm walking in the spirit. My God, listen, I'm not here to preach. I just left church. But as a candidate for the people, I'm first a candidate for God. And that's allowed me to do the job to my full ability, even though I cannot walk. I do it to the full ability that I can do it in, because it's coming from the heart. I'm seeking for my third term, and I need your vote. I need your vote to continue in a seat that I normally wouldn't have. Because God allowed me to do it in this seat, I want to continue to do it in this seat.
I'm going to continue to do it in this seat as long as you allow me to. Because I can't be supervisor of District 4 without your vote. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, it's time to keep Sunflower County moving forward. Let's do it together. God bless you.
Give it up again for Anthony Clark. Her husband. Moving right along. Everybody just give Ty Pinkins a round of applause for putting this on. Oh, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Remember now, we first had him last December. We were sold out. But anyway, thank you so much for putting this on. And you're doing a great job. And hopefully you'll be a winner next year in 2024. Okay, I got a dilemma right here. So this is what we'll do. We're going to go to Reverend Mark Buckner. He's a candidate for Senate District 13. Give him a round of applause as he comes.
Good afternoon. I'm reminded of the story of a little boy who he and his dad was going through this trailway, and while there, a branch fell across this bike trailway. His dad endeavored to teach him a lesson. Told him, "Son, I want you to move this branch, but use all your strength." The little boy exerted energy. To no avail, the branch did not move. Again, he tried again, and his dad said, "I'm encouraging you to use all your strength." And he tried to pull this time tearing in eyes because the branch wouldn't move. And then his dad told him, he said, "Son, I told you to use all your strength. You did not ask me." And brothers and sisters, I'm asking for your support on August 8th. And as it has been mentioned, that God is the God of the disabled. And somebody may be asking, why are you running for Senate and you don't have any sight? But I like Reverend, I like him. We walk by faith and not by sight. And the Bible says that it is not by eyesight, but it is by vision that our people perish. And so I'm just soliciting your support. As you have seen on my flyers, I have a 5-pillar plan of progress, and it's all encapsulated in the word Delta. It begins with developing our youth, dignity for the disabled, E, education, empowering our entrepreneurship, engineering our roads. The word L, dealing with our living conditions and dealing with our health care, and also supporting law enforcement. The word T, as a public school teacher, I see around what teachers need. They need more pay, and we need teacher retention in the Delta. And the word A, which is accountability and leadership and accessible leadership. Because I have learned that not only do I want to just know your needs, I want to know your names as well. Again, on August 8th, vote for me so I can become your voice. Send me to Jackson so that I can serve you. God bless you and God keep you.
Reverend Mark Buckner. Give it up again for Reverend Mark Buckner. Okay, we're going to District 31. representative seat. So we have two candidates here. Reverend Otis Anthony, he already has a seat. And his competition is Dr. Sade Turnipseed. Welcome them both to the stage as they come. Reverend Anthony first. Alphabetical order.
First, I want to definitely thank those who put this program, those statewide candidates. I want y'all to give them some love, show them some love for bringing this and putting this together. I also want to thank my wife for joining me. She hears all of those stories that I gather along the way. And she's been my support, and I thank her for being here today. But 5 years ago, you all sent me to Jackson, Mississippi to represent not only the city of Indianola, but the 25,000 people in House District 31. And you said, Anthony, we're not sending you down there because of your education. We're not sending you down there. We don't care what school you go to. We don't care what school your children go to. We need some representation here in the Mississippi Delta. We need some resources. And so when I heard from the teachers were talking about, we need some money. We're underpaid and we're overworked. And so, along with Representative Stamps here and our colleagues, we voted in the largest teacher pay raise, the single largest teacher pay raise in Mississippi history. When I heard from the law enforcement office, they said, look, we need some equipment. So the chief here in Indianola said, our vehicles, they're breaking down on us. I went to Jackson, Mississippi, House District 31, the city of Indianola. They received 6 new police cars. You got your alderman here. I delivered. When there was an issue with some of our homeless, and there were some who did not want to help the least of these, we delivered. When the town of Dodgeville and the mayor's here, said, Representative Anthony, we're pumping sand. We need some help. We gathered enough support to get Dodgeville some help. We delivered. Sunflower County, their board president, has always been the first to call me. And I don't always have the answer. But what I have learned to do was network with those people who know the answer. You got to learn how to work with others, those who've been down there for. I got to know the gatekeepers. And I have delivered every time. But the job is not over yet. We still got a lot of work to do. When the president of Mississippi Delta Community College called us and said our boys' dorm are falling in, we got a chance to visit. And the boys' dorm over there looked worse than any camp at Parchman. The Delta delegation pulled together, led by myself, and we delivered for our young people over there at Mississippi Delta Community College. Now, I do know this. I have never been a mailman, but I do know how to deliver. And I'm asking you to send me back down to Jackson so I can keep delivering for each and every one of you.
Give Reverend Otis Anthony another round of applause. Next we have Dr. Sade Turnipseed, also being for that position of District House 31.
Show me some love, y'all. With my hand clap. Thank you. I operate on love, nothing but love, like the brother was saying, from the heart. Everything I do is from the heart, believe me. And I am passionate about the things that I do. And it all depends and hinges on the babies, the children. As you can tell, everything I have done since I have been here in the Mississippi Delta, and it's now going on 20 years, a little over 15 years. I came here to work with Mace in the Greenville Blues Festival, where I was their cultural arts director to reestablish that department. I was then recruited by the Mississippi jewel of the Delta, and that is the B.B. King Museum, where I was the inaugural director of education and community outreach. We did some pretty phenomenal things there while I was at the B.B. King Museum. I was then recruited to go and finish my education with a PhD in public history because of that work that I did at the B.B. King Museum. I am now a professor of history at Jackson State University, as well as Mississippi Valley State University, where my students did this wonderful song dedicated to the Fannie Lou Hamer, the Voting Rights Act. This is an amazing monument, just as the B.B. King Monument is amazing. The three pillars that I do want to tell you about and introduce myself to through those who don't know me. I do want to introduce myself and reintroduce myself to others, that all of the work that I have done has centered around the children. So what I am currently working on, whether I get this position as state rep or not, I am in conversation now. Thank you for the sirens. I need the sound effect. Yeah. I am working with the Jim Henson Foundation to bring what is tantamount to Disneyland. How y'all feel about a Muppet Land up in here? Where we have Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and all of those characters that we know so well from Sesame Street. Jim Henson is a local hero. We have not tapped into what he has contributed to District 31. We need a permanent theme park, an amusement park for our children. And for me, if it's not about the kids, it ain't about nothing. Seriously. How do we circumvent the violence? How do we make sure there is jobs? How do we plan for excellence going forward? It's by embracing our children and preparing them with things like having fun. What happened to the part about having fun? We don't focus on our kids. What do they do here? I was born in San Francisco. My people are all from Choctaw County, Winston County, right up the hill. What I know is what they taught me. And it's a whole lot of love about who I be as an African woman who loves the family. And that's what I'm about. It's about bringing the family together so that they can be engaged in a very educational and informative way, and to look around and see that there are no activities for our children breaks my heart. And I ain't got chicken child up in here, but I am a teacher, and I love what our kids represent to the future of this community. And if you haven't noticed, I have been trying to push for a monument for the cotton pickers, for our ancestors who picked all that doggone cotton and never were properly thanked. I have been pushing every legislator in the state of Mississippi that represents this cotton kingdom for the past 10 years, that we have got to do something monumental to say thank you to Grandmama now. They worked their hearts out from kin to can't all of their lives. And there's nothing here that says thank you to Grandmama now. We should be ashamed of ourselves. So we are building a monument that says thank you to the cotton pickers of America for making America great. Thank you very much. But then also the Reconstruction legislators who were the first to break through the barriers of racism after and during Reconstruction. Where in the state capitol is there anything that reminds you of that history, that honors that legacy? There is nothing there. So we are going to build a historic garden that builds on that builds on the legacy of cotton. And so, and we have to do this, right? So all of those Reconstruction legislators will be honored on the state capitol ground, where there is nothing there that reminds everybody of the great work our ancestors have done. So I'm building on all three of those pillars, which is again the theme park, the monument to Grandmama Nell, and the historic garden for our original state legislators. And I have the attention of some pretty phenomenal people, and I know this will get done. This is this is several $1 million that's in the making, and I will deliver, and I promise you that. If I don't get this thing done within 6 years, trust me, you can have this seat back, but I'm gonna get it done. Thank you for your time. And please sign up on my mailing list over there and get you a yellow bag. I'm gonna have a webinar tomorrow where I'm gonna get into the weeds on all these different initiatives that I wanna do. So we have a podcast that we do every Sunday, but if you sign up, I'll send you the notice so you can tap in and ask any and all questions that you wanna ask on how we're gonna do this in 6 years. So thank you, I do want your support, I really do. Vote turnip seed up in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Turnip Seed. I think that is all the local state candidates that we have at this particular time. I did see Mr. Donald come up, and if he want to talk, he probably don't want to talk. So if you want to talk, come up. Okay, give him a round of applause as he comes. You still can talk.
Good evening, everyone. We are so grateful to have this forum and this committee to come out so everybody can hear everybody. When Brother Tom Pinkins contacted me and said he wanted to do something in Sunflower County, and I said, brother, let's do it at the courthouse. Amen. And it is a blessing so we can hear all of these people on the state level come and share with us. It means that they care for us. Now, 20 years ago, I ran for this position. And when I was elected 20 years ago, I promised the people that I would serve them. I didn't get elected for the people to serve me. I wanted to serve them. I've been pastoring over 30-some years. And the job of a pastor is to minister. And the word minister means to serve. So the supervisor position for me is a ministry. I'm not here for me, I'm here for the people. When the Eastmore subdivision was about to go under, when the state health department sent Brother Kenny Rags out and sent a letter to the board of supervisors because it's in the county that they was about to shut it down. I went out and gathered some people together. I got with our attorney, Johnny McWilliams. He got with the law professor of Ole Miss, and she got the students of Ole Miss to take Glenn Miller, the one who owned the subdivision, to court. Went to federal court, and we won. 66 families was about to be put out of their home because they had raw sewage running down the street. But I went and fought for them. And we led the way. We got new streets, new drainage, new sewage, new water. And with Hope Credit Union, we have new homes there. Reverend Philip McGee came to me about 3 years ago and said, we needed to find a way to help the homeless out. The church I pastor, many other churches around here, been paying for hotels, and we still do. And we said that we was going to hit the ground and get some support to build a homeless shelter. The first week in next month, we'll be doing the groundbreaking on a homeless shelter here in Sunflower County. Because we serve the people. It's about helping those who are less fortunate. Jesus said, the poor, you have what you always. And the state legislature has a law set aside that you can take government money through the Board of Supervisors and build homes for the poor through the Mississippi Home Court. We've been instrumental in building homes for people who have dilapidated houses, where the house was not really fit to live in. The only requirement was that you had to been living there for the prior year, and you must have the deeds. We take those deeds, we tear that house down to the ground and build brand new homes and give them a clear, free deed. They owe nothing. That's happened in Sunflower County in the last 20 years. So many things I can just bring up and say the accomplishment that we have done because we serve the people. Now, I grant you, there are some times when we argue in the boardroom. I think if something worth something, you have to fight for it. You just don't set up and let anything go on. You fight for it. You argue for some time. And we would love to take it in executive session, but some of the issues we talk about is not executive session material. You have to discuss it and deal with it in the public. So I've been criticized as one that argues. Thank you. I do argue. I argue the facts so I can get something done. And I ask you on August 8th that you, when you go to the poll, that you would help me get reelected. And let's keep Sunflower County moving forward. Thank you. God bless you.
Give it up for Mr. Glenn Donald. Are there any more candidates that we have omitted locally at this time? Ms. Horton, you a candidate? So if not, we're going to move on to the state officials that trying to get in office. We're going to start off with Terry Rogers. Okay. Give him a round of applause as he comes.
How's everybody doing? Come on, make some noise. How's everybody doing? I said. All right. I'm the youngest candidate. I'm the youngest candidate in United States history to ever file to run for a statewide office, and I chose to come here today. What better county to come than here? Sunflower County. This is my 68th county that I've hit in about 3 to 4 months, and I'm 19 years old. If you look back a year ago today, I graduated from high school. So can we give it up for graduates all over the world? Well, I'm gonna want to take you back to some of my personal history. I know I look like I have a silver spoon in my mouth, and which I did, but the only reason it was silver is because my mother and father spray painted it, that wooden spoon silver. I always get that reaction. I grew up in Clark County. I remember so profusely whenever I was 4 years old. My grandmother, who was about 80 or 90 years old at that time, took me up to a polling spot, and she clicked her name to a screen, and she elected the first African-American president, Barack Obama. And she looked down at her youngest grandson, and she said, one day your name will be on there. And ever since then, I have a commitment to help people wherever I go, because it's not just about my own county. It's not just about me. It's bigger than me. It's about you. And that's why I came to talk to you. If I go a little further, the year was 2020. Anybody remember COVID? Raise your hand if you remember COVID. I lost my last living grandmother to COVID, grandparent to COVID. I lost my father to COVID. I almost lost my mother. They told me to come in and tell my mother goodbye. They said your mother is not gonna make it over 5 days. And then that time kept on expanding and expanding. I'm so glad to have my mother here today. Can we give it up for my mother? And the whole time 2020, while that was going on, I said I want to make a change in my community. So I started a club called the Multicultural Club at my high school. And with that, we raised over $30,000. We were able to come and visit Mississippi Delta. We were able to visit Drew, able to visit Tallahatchie and LaForte County, studying the Emmett Till trials and things of that nature. And really just showing that it's not just about African Americans, it's about all people, red, yellow, black, white, we're all God's sight. And so with that, we tried to help as many kids see what's outside of our home, see what other counties have to bring. And with that, we kept on understanding that, you know, when we were coming up to the Delta, we saw all this land. And I was thinking about who owns this land. A lot of our people do not own this farmland. That's why I want land grants for you all. Anybody want land? Clap your hands if you want some land. Land is generational wealth. I want to bring generational wealth, not just for you, but for your grandchildren and their grandchildren, so it can keep on going, so the lineage can keep on going. I want to bring land grants to anybody who wants to farm and completes a training process to be able to get their own land. Somebody say 7%. I say somebody say 7%. We have a 7% grocery tax here in the state of Mississippi, which is the highest grocery tax for any state in the United States, for the poorest state in the United States. We have 21% of our people living under the poverty rate. But government officials do not care about you. I'm here going to tell you that right now. Commissioner Andy Gibson does not care about you. He cares about $77 million of welfare money, helping Brett Favre, the NFL Hall of Fame quarterback, get him a volleyball court. I'm here with you. Commissioner Andy Gibson isn't here. I'm here with you. I'm going to stand with you, and I'm always going to be there with you. I'm one call away. You also have to look. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate that 7% grocery tax. Somebody say FFA. Somebody say FFA. Future Farmers of America. We have to allow our kids. I keep continue hearing, you know, our next generation. We have to give our kids something to do. It makes no sense that Mississippi Delta Community College doesn't have a program for agriculture. I'm going to make sure every college and university in this state has an agriculture department and have agriculture scholarships for high school students. Not just high school students, but not just college students, but high school students as well. That's why whenever I implement FFA into every school, after they complete about 4 or 5 years and complete the necessary training and a test, I'm going to give them money as well to start their own farm, to get their own land and be able to continue out in the real world, because not everybody's college material. Not everybody wants to go to college, but everybody wants to make a good living. Everybody wants to live on a big house. Not everybody wants to work on the farm. Somebody wants to own the farm. Does anybody want to own the farm today? All right. Now I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Okay, I'm gonna say ready to go. I'm gonna say fired up, and y'all gonna say ready to go. Okay. Fired up. Fired up. Fired up. Let's get fired up and ready to go. Vote Rogers on August 8th. And remember to go out and donate on my Facebook page. I have a link. If you go out and look on my Facebook page, I have a link. And I hope to get y'all support and vote and donation. Thank y'all. God bless.
Give it up again for Mr. Terry Rogers II. Next, we have for Attorney General for the state of Mississippi, Greta Martin. Welcome as she come to the stage.
Thank you, Sunflower County, for coming out on this Saturday. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that we've had so many wonderful local and county candidates. It is a great time to be a Democrat in Mississippi. And let me tell you why. We have this year a significant opportunity to turn the tide in this state. From the top of the ticket down, we have the best candidates that want to serve you, that want to find their role in this state and help change the narrative and push Mississippi forward. And so, as was mentioned, I am Greta Kemp Martin. I'm running to be your next Attorney General for the state of Mississippi. I'm a lifelong Mississippian. I currently live in Jackson, but I'm originally from the very northeast corner of this state, Tishomingo County, so very rural. You can't go any farther northeast in this state, and that's where my family is from. That's where they currently reside. I'm a child of a law enforcement family. My father, both of my grandfathers and my uncle were in law enforcement. My father is actually running for sheriff in Tishomingo County right now on the Republican ticket, so we won't talk about that. But one thing that my father and I do share, and one thing that I got from my family who is heavily involved in public service and community engagement, is that when it comes to the law, that is supposed to be applied equally. No matter your race, no matter your gender, religion, who your mama is, who your daddy is, the law is applied equally. My opponent is failing at this. What we have in the Attorney General's office now is what I like to call a gold star student for the Republican Party. She is not in her role to help Mississippians, and I can tell you how I know. One, we have one of the most far-reaching and largest scandals in the state of Mississippi to the tune of almost $100 million that were supposed to go to communities across the state that need it most. And let me tell you our AG's involvement, zero. No accountability, no investigation, no prosecution, no comment. She has allowed almost $100 million of stolen funds to go to NFL quarterbacks, our governor's personal trainer, everywhere but where it's supposed to be, which is in the hands of Mississippians who are trying to do better for their families. Enough's enough. We need somebody in that Attorney General's office that is not scared to prosecute, no matter whether someone has an R behind their name, a D behind their name, or if they're an NFL quarterback, or if they're a former governor of Mississippi. If you steal from Mississippians, you should be prosecuted, period. What we have currently in the AG's office is not working, and it's likely because we have an Attorney General that does not understand the realities of living in Mississippi today. We need someone in that office that understands what this state needs now. I've been an attorney for 13 years. It's very hard to think about, but from day one, I have had a person-centered practice, which means when I walk in a courtroom, I'm representing people like you. I'm representing people in front of judges and juries who need an advocate, and I'm really good at it. And now I want to be the attorney for the entire state of Mississippi because I care about its people. And I have a lot of ways that we can get this ship back on track. And one is starting with going after the deep-seated corruption in this state. Your Attorney General, that is literally one of her jobs, and she has failed you. But other ways, I want to establish a labor division under the AG's office to support Mississippi workers. That does not currently exist, nor do we have a State Department that is dedicated to labor. We need someone in Jackson looking out for Mississippi's working families and providing them support and representation, and I understand the importance of that. We also want to develop a true empowerment agenda because what my opponent has out as empowerment doesn't feel too empowering to me. And she started by overturning a 50-year precedent in Roe versus Wade, which took women's rights to make decisions about their own body and squashed them. That happened right here in Mississippi. I do not want to use your money to criminalize doctors and nurses and women in a state that can barely keep its hospitals open. We need someone in that office that works toward empowerment policies like paid parental leave, affordable child care, equal pay for equal work, things that Mississippians need. We do not need to be driving away nurses and doctors in a healthcare desert such as this state when we cannot fully fund Medicaid. And we do not need our doctors and nurses feeling like they need to get their lawyers on the phone before they treat you. I care about this state. This is my home. I have 3 wonderful bonus children. I want to create a Mississippi where they want to stay. I'm tired of seeing my friends and my families and my friends' children leave this state because they feel like they have no opportunities. So I'm asking you today, GretaForAG.com, that is our website. Please go and check out our campaign. We're going to ask for your support. We're going to ask for several things between now and November. We're going to ask you to put our name out. We're asking for your time, your talent, or your treasure. And the way you can help us with time is if you have the desire to volunteer for our campaign, please go to GretaForAG.com, sign up. We will put you to work spreading our vision across the state. The way you can help us with talent, if you have the ability to invite us to your church, to your ladies' book club, to your gentlemen's book club, your whatever you are involved in your community, we want to come out and we want to meet you where you're at. And we want to come into these communities and learn more about you. And of course, treasure, which is exactly what I think all of us candidates hate asking for most, but we have to do it. And that is if you have the ability, whether it's $5, $50 or more, to donate, we will be good stewards of your money and we will use it to push this state forward. I promise you. As I stand here today, I ask you for your vote. Thank you so much for letting us come into your wonderful town, into Sunflower County. We appreciate you. And please, if you have any questions, we have cards over on the table that has my direct cell phone number and my direct email address. And I answer every single one of them. And I'm happy to discuss anything with you and happy to chat. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, give it up for Ms. Martin. Okay. Does anyone know what the Public Service Commission does? Anyone, raise your hand. Public Service Commission. You know what they do? Raise your hand. Okay. What we're doing right now, we're going to introduce Keith Stamps. He's going to tell you what the Public Service Commission does. Give him a round of applause as he comes.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Keith Stamps, and I'm running for Public Service Commissioner for the Central District of Mississippi. I see a lot of familiar faces out here. I want to first thank Ty Pickens and the whole group for putting this on because this is the best one yet. We've been all over the state carrying this message, trying to introduce ourselves to the public of Mississippi. And I tell you what, Sunflower County, the God shined on you today. It's not as hot as it was earlier. And you got a good audience here, so I appreciate the local leadership. My good friend, Representative Otis Anthony, and everyone else out here. I appreciate y'all for putting this event on today. And I bring you greetings from a little small town called Learned, Mississippi. It's a big city now. It's population of 108. Like I told later earlier, there's more folks out here almost in my hometown. But I currently live in Jackson, Mississippi. When I left high school, I joined the military, and I retired a few years ago. When I got back, the Mississippi that was in my heart, because I was traveling all over the world, fighting and getting beat up and shot at and blowed up all the time. When I got back, the Mississippi I had in my heart all those years wasn't the Mississippi I saw with my eyes. Anybody don't feel like that? That you got love for Mississippi that's deep in your heart, but when you open your eyes up, you just don't see what you close your eyes and see. You open your eyes, you see something different. So my grandma told me, she said, well, boy, what you gonna do about it? So I decided to sign up for local government. I ran for city council in my city, and I spent about 8 years on the city council. And then Lord saw fit for us to advance further. And 4 years ago, we came before you, asking you, begging for you to support us to be your public service commissioner.
Because the Public Service Commission regulates all of your lights, your water, your gas, your cell phone, your internet. Pretty important stuff. I know it's not sexy. It's not the mayor or the governor or the senator or anything like that. But it's vitally important. Critically important. Especially when the toilet don't flush. Especially when the water don't work. And 4 years ago, y'all saw one of the nastiest campaigns put against me that Mississippi's ever seen. Because I didn't think it was gonna be that visceral. But it wound up being that way. But we never said one foul thing, because for me, I said, you know what? I don't stoop low. When folks go low, my first lady told me, go high. So the whole campaign, when they were doing all they were doing, we just kept on plugging forward. And we got 49.6% of the vote. We came danger close to winning. We had them on the ropes. But what I want to tell you is the things we brought up were important and they came to pass. We told them that, hey, if you don't intervene in the city of Jackson, the system gonna fail. And these are the things that you need to do in order to save it, or else the whole state's gonna get a black eye. We told them that small towns across Mississippi need better water services. Then you got situations like in Hazelhurst. You know, in Hazelhurst, you can't even build a new house today. The city of Hazelhurst is under a moratorium. They can't even add a new house to their city. That's how critical the water department is and the Public Service Commission is. Then the legislature responded. I didn't just, lose an election and go turn tail and hide. I decided, I'm gonna keep fighting. So the next year, I decided to run for House Representative. And I had the honor and privilege of stepping in that role. And I started telling my colleagues like Representative Otis Anthony and your local senator that, hey, there's some changes need to happen. And if y'all support me, we can pass some bills to make things better. So we turned around and we allocated funds and resources. We put in laws specifically for the Public Service Commission. Well, first and foremost, we fully funded their office. Then we gave them a raise. Then we turned around and gave them specific jurisdiction inside the city of Jackson to keep it from failing. And they still let it fail. I don't believe that failures should get second chances. Failures in public service need to go home. And we need to stop electing failures. Don't give them a second chance. You know why I never said a mumbling word after they tried to tear me and my family apart 4 years ago? I didn't say nothing because I'm better than him. I don't want you to support me because I'm black. I want you to support me because I'm better than him. I'm better for your light bill. I'm better for your water bill. I'm better for your gas bill. I'm better for your cell phone bill than he is. There's some folks out there who want to tear apart the whole state to save a handful of counties. A few on the coast, Madison, Rankin, go up to Starkville, and go up to DeSoto County, and everybody else just gonna suffer. Well, I'm not built like that. I believe everybody deserves the basic services of life. Everybody deserves quality water. Everybody deserves quality. So it's folks right here in the Delta that still got outhouses. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Your supervisors will tell you that the reason you don't have economic development is because of utilities. Let me give you the magic formula if you don't know how to get economic development in your community. Water, sewer, natural gas, broadband, and cell phone towers. When you put those combination of utilities inside your industrial park, then you got the magic formula to build jobs. So they no longer have to redline us and say, we can't do this and do that. The utilities is how you move the economic development. I learned that from experience because in the legislature last year, we passed the largest economic development project in the history of the state of Mississippi in a majority black city. $2.5 billion, 1,000 new jobs, averaging $93,000 a year. Let me say it again, 1,000 jobs. Am I right, Otis? $1,000, averaging 93,000 miles a year in a town with the demographics that resemble right here in Indianola. It was because of the utilities. Because in the prairie bottom is what they call it. And in that area, we put the utilities in place and lined up the economic development to follow. That same thing can happen all over this state if you have quality and effective folks in office. So my name is DeKeitha Stamps. I passed out my little purple cards here. There's a little QR code on the back of it there. You can look at it and pull up on the internet like the young folks do. Follow us, but more importantly, pray for us. Pray for all these candidates. Because we travel across these highways and byways, we coming from here to there, late at night, deer all over the road, you tired and sleepy. Pray for all of us as we travel these highways. Pray for my opponent. I don't want nothing bad to happen to nobody. But I want on November the 8th, something good to happen for you. Something good by electing DeKeitha Stamps as your next public service commissioner for the Central District. My name is DeKeitha Stamps, and I approve this message.
Give him another round of applause, please. Mr. Stamps. Before we bring up the headliner, I got a couple of things that need to be cleared up. I think it may be the wrong timing, but it's the right place. The wrong timing, but it's the right place. Everyone has a right to run for office. These jobs that we're vying for right now, to be voted in, they don't belong to nobody, they belong to the people. They belong to the people. Everyone has the right to run. To go a little more deeper, Charles Motley asked no one to run for office this year. I know the rumors been out there, but Charles Motley asked no one to run for office this year. So you can clarify that. You can get that out of your mind. You can put that in the garbage can. You can bury it in the dirt. Charles Motley asked no one to run for office. There's been rumors flying around ever since February. That is, it's not true. It's not true. So if someone been telling you that for the last 4 or 5 months, it's not true. Do anyone understand that now? You got some questions? My name Charles Motley. You know I don't hide. 662-934-3463. And I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find. No one loves and no one likes to be lied on, especially when your friends lie on you and the ones you be around. It's kind of hurt. I'm a human being as well. I have feelings too. When people lie on you, it hurts. Okay, it's cleared up. I don't want to hear it again nowhere in Sunflower County. The Cochran Law Firm will be after you. You can take that to the bank. Okay, I met this gentleman here, Mr. Ty Pinkin, about 3 years ago. You can hear him talking about the the farm, working on the farmland where they was not paying the employees what they should have been paying them. They brought people here from South Africa to work, and they got paid more than the people that actually live here and working on the farm for years. Guess what? Another news bulletin. I am the one that brought those farm workers to Ty Pinkins. I am. And he's a witness to it too. I am the one, all 7 of them. I'm the one that brought it to Ty Pinkins, okay? Ty Pinkins should be our next United States Senator for next year. He's going against Roger Wicker, who's been in office, I think, about almost 20 years. In the Mississippi Delta, still has not benefited from Roger Wicker being in office. Let me say that again, because some people can't hear too good. The Mississippi Delta has not benefited from Roger Wicker being in office for the last 20 years. And welcome Ty Pinkins to the podium as he's going to explain to you the things that he's planning on doing when he becomes the next senator, United States Senator, from Mississippi, from a little old town called Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Welcome Ty Pinkins to the stage.
Hello, Indianola, Mississippi. How y'all doing this evening? Listen, Indianola, it feels so good to be here with y'all. I love this city and I love the county of Sunflower County. I'm telling you, and I'm going to explain to you why. But before I get started, I want to make sure that we recognize the Sunflower County Democratic Executive Committee who helped me put this together. Mr. David Rushing over here. Please give him a round of applause. Also, we're going to make sure we give Mr. Motley a round of applause for being our MC this evening because he's done a good job. And lastly, most importantly, please give all of the candidates a round of applause because it's hard to put yourself out there. So give all of our local candidates and our statewide candidates a round of applause. Indianola is special to me. It is. And you're going to learn why in a few minutes. My name is Ty Pinkins, and I'm running to be your next United States Senator. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to donate to me. You know it's coming, don't you? But before I do that, I'm going to explain to you why you should invest in me as your next United States Senator. Is that all right? Okay, all right. So growing up, my parents were my role models. Neither one of them got a formal education. My mother got pregnant with me when she was 14 years old. My biological father left before I was born. When she was 15, because she was pregnant at 14, she turned 15 in the middle of her pregnancy, and she gave birth to me in the 10th grade. She dropped out of school, didn't go back. My stepfather, who helped raise me, had already left school in the 6th grade to start working on a farm, driving tractors. And I remember it just like it was yesterday. Early one summer morning, it was still dark outside. The grass was still wet with dew. He woke me up, shook me awake. He said, go outside and get on the back of that truck. When I got out there were men twice and 3 times my age on the truck. The truck took off and it drove several miles. When it stopped, I stood on a narrow dirt road in the middle of a cotton field. I followed those grown men into that cotton field. And from 13 years old, for the rest of my teenage years, I chopped that cotton every summer from sunup to sundown to help my parents pay the bills. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There were some times when those fields nearly broke me down. However, over time, like many of your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, I realized how that experience actually built me up. It built me up. It taught me the value of hard work and dedication. The same work ethic I'll take to Washington, D.C. to work hard for you. Now, even though my parents didn't get a formal education, they taught me the value of a good education. They planted the seed. I'm a proud product of Mississippi Public Schools. Became the first in my family to graduate high school. Became the first in my family to go to college, attended Tougaloo College before I joined the military. Served 21 years on active duty, 3 tours of combat, over 36 months in combat. They decided to give me the Bronze Star. But I never forgot what my parents told me about a good education. So while on active duty, I finished my degree in political science. As an Army officer, I served in the White House under President Obama and President Trump because I'm an American soldier, and I serve the office and not the person. After I finished at the White House, I remembered again that my parents taught me that education is important. I literally walked out of the gates of the White House one day, walked across DC, sat down and applied for the law school entrance test. And a little old college called Georgetown University decided to accept me. So I earned my JD, my law degree, as well as my LLM, my master's in law with a focus in national security law. But here's what I'm most proud of. Guess what I did after I graduated from law school? I sold my house. I packed all my stuff into a truck, including my wife and my 2 kids. I pointed my truck south, and I came right back home to Mississippi. Not only did I come back home to Mississippi, I came right to Indianola, right there, in that office, right there. Let me tell you something. This city, the Mississippi Delta, is personal to me. I'm a veteran, I'm a lawyer, I'm an author, but more important than all of that, I'm a proud son of the Mississippi Delta. That's why I'm glad to be here with y'all today. Now, my parents had it hard raising me. My dad worked 15-hour days driving tractors, struggling to make enough money to feed us. It was hard for them raising 4 kids on food stamps and about $14,000 a year. But my parents, just like your ancestors, they never gave up. They never gave up. Just like many of you, sometimes it was hard to make ends meet. But also just like y'all, the only thing that my folks wanted was a fair chance, an equal shot, a level playing field. All of us want a good job that pays a decent wage so that we can go home each day with our dignity and respect intact. All of us want good health care that we can depend on to take care of our family. All of us want a quality education system because just like you, I want my kids to be smarter than me. All of us want that. For the past year, I have been traveling all over our state, and I've met too many folks who still can't find a quality job. I've met too many families who still are struggling to make ends meet. And I've met too many teachers telling me how lack of investment in our education system actually hurts our kids. Our children deserve better, and we can do better. My opponent has been sitting in Washington, D.C., failing our communities for far too long. For far too long, he hasn't brought jobs to our state, and especially this part of our state. You know it. You know it. For far too long, he hasn't helped people in low-income communities across the Delta, including Indianola and Sunflower County. But I'm gonna do something about it. How many people out here are tired of our state being last to do the right thing all the time? I'm gonna ask you again. How many people out here are tired of Mississippi's leaders being the last ones to do the right thing? I'm tired of it. That's why I'm running. My campaign platform is jobs in the economy, healthcare, and education. Sound familiar? There's a pattern forming here because those are the 3 main things affecting Mississippians: jobs, healthcare, and education. Now, I'm standing here asking you to support me. I think I need to earn your support. And here's how I'm going to do it in the next 5 minutes. 1, I'm going to explain to you what the issue is around those 3 things. I got it down to a science. I'm telling you, watch me. 2, I'm going to explain to you how my opponent has not helped solve those issues, even though he's been in D.C. for nearly 20 years. That's a long time to not do the right thing. That's a long time. And 3, I'm going to explain to you why I am the best candidate moving forward to help solve those issues as your next United States Senator. Okay? Is that fair enough? All right, here we go. Jobs in the economy. We need an economy in Mississippi that works for everybody, not just the wealthy, but middle class and low income communities also. You deserve that. You deserve it. Right here in the 2nd Congressional District. That's the district we're in. You know it. Over 50,000 people still can't find a job. And you hear our governor running around talking about how much our budget looks good for the first time in history, talking about how low the unemployment rate is in our country. Tell that to these people in Sunflower County who can't find a job. Tell that to them. It makes no sense. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable that in some counties in Mississippi, especially in the Mississippi Delta, the unemployment rate is nearly triple the national average. Y'all know it's the truth. It's unacceptable that in some counties in the Mississippi Delta, the poverty rate is as high as 39% compared to 12%, which is the national poverty rate. That's a 27% gap that's existed since my opponent went into office almost 20 years ago. Somebody say it's time to go. It is time to get off the pot and go. Here's what I've been doing already with regard to jobs. I've been fighting to protect Mississippi workers who were cheated out of their pay by big businesses. I did it right there in their office. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna take a break because this wasn't in my speech. Y'all have a treasure in that office. And I'm gonna call her name out because she's here. Her name is Yumikia. Yumikia. She is a community treasure. Give her a round of applause. Because we don't do it by ourselves, and this is what's wrong with our politics. Politicians want to get out there and they want to say, I did this, I did that, I did. They got a whole staff that do all of that work for them. Well, let me tell you who helped me make sure that those Mississippi workers, those Indianola workers, those Sunflower County workers got heard. It was Yumikia. Give her another round of applause. So I've been working and fighting, and this is what I did. I went all the way to Washington, D.C. I testified before Congress, literally sat there before Congress and testified before them. I explained to them their federal policy that was allowing Mississippi workers to be cheated out of their pay. I told them, here is your policy that's hurting Mississippi workers. Guess what my opponent did? Nothing. Nothing. Guess what I did? I came right back to that building. And I sued those same businesses that were doing it. And guess what? We won. We won. Indianola, you won. You won. And that's what I'll do when I am your next United States Senator sitting in Washington, D.C. I'll fight on your behalf. I'll fight for you. Because all you elders out there, y'all made this. Y'all created this path. Y'all made it possible for me to stand here. And one thing that you taught me is to not be scared. I don't have it in my bones. Y'all didn't give me that. Y'all didn't pass that trait on to me. I'm sorry. So that's jobs in the economy. Healthcare. Quality, affordable healthcare. My dad worked on the farm for over 30 years. For over 30 years. He was one of the healthiest people I knew. Could run like the wind. Played center field on the community softball team. I went off to the military, served 3 years in combat. I came back healthy, only to find that my father was now a double amputee, blind, in a wheelchair, and suffering from kidney failure. And today, he has to drive 3 hours round trip just to get basic health care services because the hospital is about to close in his town. So when I hear that out of the 74 rural hospitals, because we have 74 rural hospitals, out of those 74 rural hospitals, over half of them, 38, could be closed any day now. And of that 38, 25 could close today. Why? Because our state government refuses to adequately invest in public health care. Let me tell you something that makes me upset. You pay into Medicaid every month with your federal dollars. Tell me, I know you know that because you look at your check and you see it coming out, right? You're paying to Medicaid every single month. What sense does it make that states all around us, over 39 states have expanded Medicaid, over 39. What sense does it make that states all around us, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, are expanding Medicaid, partially using your tax dollars that you're paying to Medicaid, but our state, our governors are saying, you're not worth them expanding it so that you can take advantage of it. That should make you upset. It makes me upset, and that's why I'm running. And here's what I'm going to do as your next United States Senator. While I'm in D.C., I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that Medicaid stays on the table until our governor gets their act together and catches up. Because like I said before, I'm tired of Mississippi being the last state to do the right thing. I'm sick and tired of it. Let me tell you something. Education. I'll tell you a quick story. In 2017, I was working in the White House at the time, as a matter of fact. 2017, something very interesting happened in D.C. And my opponent was a part of it. He was a part of the bad part of it. The Senate was split 50-50, right? 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, which means that when they vote, usually it's a tie, right? When it's a tie in the United States Senate, the Vice President of the United States, he breaks that tie. Well, up for confirmation that day in 2017 was the Secretary of Education. They were trying to choose a new person for Secretary of Education. Now, when you think about someone that's vying for the position of Secretary of Education, you think that the person has some experience in what? Say it a little bit louder. In what? Education. Well, that person that day was not a school teacher, was not a principal, was not a superintendent, was not a dean at a college. That person was an investor in computer chips. Explain to me how much sense that makes. Zero. How do you, what? Her name was Betsy DeVoe. And I'm pretty sure all of y'all are familiar with her name. And here's what happened because my opponent voted to confirm Betsy DeVoe. Because remember, it's split 50-50. That legislator, that senator that decides to step out of line and do the right thing carries a lot of weight. Because you can tilt that if it's tied 50-50. He voted for her. She pulled money out of public schools and put them in private schools. Is that fair? No. Here's what I'll do for you as your next United States Senator. If a confirmation comes up to the United States Senate for Secretary of Education or whatever it is, I'm going to do something simple. It might be complicated for my opponent, but I'm going to do something very simple. I'm going to base my vote off of her resume. If she has the qualifications that meets the job, then I'll vote for her. But if she's not, then no, you don't get the vote. For me, that seems simple, right? Look, this is why I'm running for United States Senator. Many of our elected leaders, not all of them, many of our elected leaders have failed us. They have failed us. They have forgotten the importance of simple words like selfless service. Now, they've embraced selfish service. They've embraced that. Y'all know it. They've forgotten the meanings of words like selfless service. They've forgotten meanings of words like honesty. You heard the lies. They've forgotten the meanings of words like duty. They've forgotten that what's most important is improving your life and the life of your family. They've forgotten that what's most important is listening and hearing what's important to you. That's why my campaign motto is you talk, I listen, and we do. Over the next 15 months, because my election is in 2024, but I'm running now because I love these communities. Over the next 15 months, I'm going to all 82 counties so that one, you can talk and tell me what's important to you and your family. Two, I can listen to what's important to your community and community members. And three, together, we can do what's necessary to move our state and our country forward. But I cannot do it alone. I told you I was going to ask you for something. Told you I was going to ask you, and I'm looking in your eyes because I love you. And I believe that our time is now. Our time is now. If you are over 60 years old, over 50 years old, you did something years ago. You laid the groundwork for this. You blazed this trail that I'm on right now. That's why I need your help. I need for you to go to www.typinkins, that's TYPINKINS.com, and I need you to donate. I don't care if it's $5, I don't care if it's $1, $20, $100. I need you to donate to this campaign because we are in a unique moment in Mississippi. We're in a unique moment in Mississippi, and I'm gonna tell you why. If Georgia can vote in the first Black senator in their history, if they can vote in their first Black senator in history, we can do that here. We haven't had, let me give you a little bit of history. The state of Mississippi was the first state to send a Black senator to the Senate on the federal level. His name was Hiram Rose Rebels from Vicksburg, Mississippi. The first one in the late 1800s. Then we turned around and we did it again. We sent Blanche Bruce to the Senate. That was in the 1890s. We have not done that since. Right now is the time. I'm the candidate. I'm here because I believe in the trail that you blazed for me. I believe in the work that you did to put me right here. I believe in you, and you. Because people say we don't vote. Yes, we do. We do vote. But you need to get in our communities and give us a reason to vote for you. When year after year, we have statewide candidates and federal candidates that decide not to visit the Mississippi Delta, don't be surprised when we're not excited to vote for you. You haven't even shown us the respect to show up. You haven't even shown these communities the respect to show up, and you expect them to get excited about you. And then when you lose, when they lose on the state level and the federal level, then they turn around, oh, those people didn't vote. You didn't come ask them. Right? I'm here asking you. That's why I brought Greta Kemp Martin here, because I care about the Delta. That's why I brought Keith Stamps over here, who's running for Public Service Commissioner, because I know he's a good man, and he's a vet, and I can introduce him to the people that I love. That's why I'm here. I love this state. I love the Mississippi Delta. Listen, I love the dirt in the Mississippi Delta. Get it right. Don't get it twisted. This is my home turf. I love this place, but I'm gonna need my family members, my loved ones, community members. I need y'all to get busy. I need you to tell your wife, your husband, your 18-year-old kids, your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, get them to register and get ready, because I'm in this fight for you. And we can do this. Our time is now. I love you. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Okay, give him another round of applause, please. Larry Bradford, he's late, but at least he showed up to get some votes. So everyone, welcome to the stage, Mr. Larry Bradford.
Good afternoon, everybody. Listen, let's give our next state senator, Ty Pickens, a hand. Come on. If you were not convinced by what he just said, check your post. Check your post. Bible says, despise not small beginnings. I'm saying it because our crowd looks, but I am believing that before this is over, it's going to be everything that it needs to be. I believe that there is a momentum and there's a stirring that's happening right now, that in days to come, weeks to come, months to come, I am believing that there's going to be a momentum that will cause us to unite and be a unified front. I'm Larry Bradford. I'm the former mayor of Anguilla, Mississippi. I'm running for the office of state auditor. I am Chaz White's replacement. You don't fix nothing if it's not broke. I'm his replacement. Some days ago, if you were ever in Sunday school or Bible band, there was this story about this little redhead boy. He was tending sheep, snatching sheep and lambs out of the mouths of bears and lions and all of that, writing Psalms. And Saul, who was appointed king, he wasn't elected. Somebody made him and put him in that position. There's a difference when somebody appoints you and when somebody anoints you. You have to understand that when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But when you have the right people in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, we can get something going. This is why you need to keep the steps. This is why you need a Ty Pickerson. This is why we need people that will be a voice to the voiceless. We need people who won't bow down. I'm in Anguilla. We just got hit by major tornadoes. My daughter just graduated grad school in Little Rock. We just closed on her new home. Everything was destroyed, so Daddy had to go be Daddy today. But I'm here now. Amen, amen, and amen. Now, if you're married, hold your hand up. I just want to see the married folk real quick. If you have your spouse with you, I'm sorry. If your spouse is at home and you're by yourself, hold your hand up. Now, I said that for a reason, Ms. Blanc, because if you're married, and even though your spouse is not here, you carry your spouse everywhere you go. So if you don't see me, you see her. And if you see her and don't see me, you see me. Because you carry your spouse everywhere you go. Am I right about it? Am I right about that? We got to carry each other everywhere we go. If you see Pat Pinkerton, you ought to see Bradford. If you see Chawatsky, you ought to see Nikita Steps. If you see Greta Clip, you ought to be able to see Brenda Preston. We got to carry each other everywhere we go. We got to leverage our resources, leverage our networks, and we have got to come together as a unified front. Ty said something that was very, very strong. He said this is a unique situation. He declared right here on the Sunflower County step that our time is now, and you got to understand the only thing that stops us from being right now is we don't do anything. You need to get your cousins, your nephews, your uncles. We got to storm these polls on August the 8th. We got to storm these polls on November the 7th. They have got to know that the Democratic Party was strong. We ain't laying down. We ain't bowing down. We ain't playing bad. Those days are over. I am Sheriff White's replacement. Vote for me.
Okay, we're fixing to close it down. I want to make a brief announcement, and then I want to put all the candidates here on the spot. The brief announcement first is to you local candidates. I know everybody's mail gets filled up with solicitations from candidates all over the country and politicians. But when you see David Rushing's name on, I've got an important message to send you about election preparations, okay? So y'all be sure to look at your emails from me or your texts. I won't bother you much. I think now some of my friends know, when I've been telling them for about 2 months, I'm on the state executive committee, and I've met all these gentlemen. They're going to believe me that we've got the best slate of candidates ever running for state office. Now, I've enjoyed the support I've gotten being involved in the Democratic Party. We've gotten a lot of work done, but I've got to say this. The 2 things that honored me the most is meeting Ty Pinkins and Nikita Stamps. They're the real deal. They're real men. And y'all know me. I have 40 years spent as investigative reporter. And I still believe politics is a noble calling. So this is where I'm going to put you local candidates on the spot. And we really appreciate you all running. I mean, like Mr. Motley said, this is what democracy is all about. But I'm going to put y'all on the spot, and I'm going to ask you to make a pledge to us, echoing what Mr. Stamps said. Put your hand over your heart and repeat after me. Selfless service, honesty, and duty. Having said that, thank you all for coming. We appreciate Mr. Pinkins doing this and all the candidates showed up. You'll be getting a message soon about local activities to this type of event in the near future. Thank you. Okay, give it up for everybody. Everybody, you did good. Just help yourself. You did real well. We're going to ask Pastor Mark Buckner to close us out with a prayer and give us traveling grace to our various destinations.
Our hearts composed. Gracious God, our Father, we come again to say thank you. We thank you again for your amazing grace, your steadfast love. We thank you, dear Lord, for the events that have transpired today.
Father God, we pray, the Lord, that you would lead us and guide us in the right direction, as your word says, to trust in the Lord with all of our hearts and lean not to our own understanding. And you will be the God that gives us guidance and direct our path. And Father, as we are dismissed from this place, but never your presence, that you would go with us all. We ask the Lord that you would give us traveling grace and arriving mercy. It is in the name of Jesus we do pray and praise. Amen. And thank God.
Good night.
It's on my page too. Okay. All You'll polish yourself on off. Of course, former mayor of Anguilla.
Yeah.
I met you the first time that you actually came to